Welcome back to the deep dive. So last time we left Dante and Virgil, remember, in the Valley of the Princes. It was getting dark.
Right, dusk was falling.
Hmm.
And those souls were looking for, well, protection against temptation.
Exactly. It felt like such a vulnerable moment, caught between earthly stuff and trying to move towards something more spiritual.
Mm-hmm. It really showed how even good people, people striving, need that divine help sometimes. It's not all just willpower.
Yeah, that vulnerability is key. And it sets us up perfectly for today's deep dive into the ninth canto of Purgatory.
Ah, Canto 9, a big one.
A really big one. This is where Dante makes a major transition. We want to dig into what happens here and see, what lessons we might find for our own lives, our own growth.
Definitely. There's so much packed in. Dante falls asleep, has this incredible dream about an eagle.
Right.
So then he wakes up and, surprise, he's been moved. St. Lucy carried him to the actual gate of Purgatory.
Well, he was asleep.
While he was asleep. And then there's the whole encounter with the angel gatekeeper, the steps, the marking with the 7 Ps, the keys. It's a lot.
Okay, let's start with that dream. The eagle. A golden eagle swoops down and carries them upwards towards fire.
Towards the sphere of fire, yeah. It's a powerful image.
So what's going on there? Is it just a dream? Or is there more to it for Dante and maybe for us?
Well, it's classic Dante, taking something known and giving it a deeper Christian meaning.
Yeah.
He's riffing on the myth of Ganymede, the shepherd boy carried off by Zeus's eagle.
Okay.
But here, the eagle isn't just Zeus. It represents divine grace. God's power lifting the soul towards purification, towards the divine.
Ah, I see. So it's less about being abducted and more about being elevated.
Exactly. And if you think about our lives, sometimes big shifts, real progress, feel like they come from outside us, don't they? Maybe an unexpected chance or an insight that pops up when you're resting, not even trying.
Yeah, like you can't force everything. Sometimes you need to be receptive.
Precisely. Receptive to that grace or whatever force it is that helps you move forward, maybe when you least expect it.
And that idea of things happening beyond his conscious control, it carries right on after the dream, doesn't it? He wakes up somewhere totally different.
Right. He wakes up and bam, he's at the gate of Purgatory proper. And Virgil tells him St. Lucy carried him while he slept.
St. Lucy. She represents illuminating grace.
Exactly. And it's interesting because this isn't the first time Dante's been transported while unconscious. Remember back in Inferno, Canto 3?
Oh yeah, he fainted and woke up across the Acheron River.
Same kind of thing. These moments seem to mark passages that are maybe beyond human reason alone. They're leaps of faith or grace, perhaps.
So for us, maybe it suggests that some big internal shifts happen kind of under the surface when we're not actively working on them.
Could be. Like during reflection, maybe even sleep times. Things click into place, insights emerge, and we find ourselves in a new place internally without quite knowing how we got there step by step.
Okay, so he arrives, thanks to St. Lucy, at this threshold. And there are 3 steps leading up to the gate itself. They sound very distinct.
They are. First, white marble, smooth and reflective.
Like looking at yourself honestly.
That's a good way to put it. Symbolically, it stands for sincere confession, acknowledging the truth of your faults without distortion.
Okay, step 1, honesty. What's next?
The second step is darker, almost black, and it's cracked and rough.
Doesn't sound very pleasant.
No, and it represents contrition, that deep, heartfelt sorrow for the wrong you've done, the brokenness you feel because of it. It's not just saying sorry, it's feeling it.
Right, the emotional weight of it. And the third?
The third step is fiery red porphyry, like blood or fire.
It's intense.
Very. And this symbolizes satisfaction or penance, making amends through action, often through acts of love or charity. It's the doing part, the active commitment to change and repair.
Confession, contrition, satisfaction. Wow, it lays out a whole process for dealing with mistakes, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not just a quick apology. It's recognition, remorse, and action, something we can definitely think about in our own efforts to grow.
Absolutely. So past the steps, there's the angel, sitting on a diamond threshold, no less.
Right, the diamond symbolizing firmness, constancy, maybe the unchanging nature of divine justice or truth. And this angel has a job to do before opening the gate.
Which is?
He takes a sword and inscribes 7 Ps on Dante's forehead.
70s? Okay, what's the P stand for?
Peccatum, sin in Latin. Specifically the 7 deadly sins: pride, envy, wrath, sloth, avarice, gluttony, lust.
So he's literally marked by these sins.
He is. It's Dante's own invention, this marking. It shows that even though he's passed through hell and is at the gate of purgatory, he still carries the stain, the tendency towards these sins within him.
That's quite humbling, but I guess hopeful too, because he is at the gate.
Exactly. And the crucial part is that these marks aren't permanent scars. The whole point of climbing Mount Purgatory is that each P will be erased as he purges that specific sin on the corresponding terrace.
Ah, okay. So it's a visual representation of his purification process.
Precisely. It tells us, and maybe reminds us, that growth is gradual. It's step by step. You don't just magically become perfect. You work through things one by one.
That feels much more realistic
Yeah,
and kinder somehow. We need patience with ourselves.
absolutely. Patience and self-compassion are embedded in that symbolism, I think.
Okay, so he's marked. Then the angel uses keys to open the gate. 2 keys.
Yes. 2 keys, 1 gold, 1 silver. He holds them both.
Why 2? What do they represent?
Well, traditionally, the gold key represents God's authority, the power to bind and loose, essentially the ultimate permission.
Okay, divine authority.
And the silver key represents the wisdom and discernment needed to use that authority correctly. It's about knowledge, judgment, understanding the specific situation, and the heart of the person seeking entry.
So you need both. Power isn't enough without wisdom, and wisdom needs authority to act.
That seems to be the message. True guidance, whether it's the church's authority in Dante's context, or maybe the guidance we seek from mentors, or even our own inner wisdom, needs that blend. Authority without understanding can be harsh, and understanding without the power to enact change is, well, ineffective.
That's a really useful way to think about seeking or giving advice, actually, finding that balance. And one last detail from the sources, when the angel finally turns the keys and opens the gate, it makes a harsh, grating sound.
Yes, it's described as sounding loud and harsh, like rusty hinges groaning.
It seems like an odd detail after all this profound symbolism. Why harsh?
Well, maybe it symbolizes that big transitions crossing major thresholds in life aren't always smooth or quiet.
Right. They can be jarring.
Exactly. Leaving the old behind, entering the new, there can be a sort of resistance, difficulty, even a kind of pain associated with it. Growth isn't always comfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to force the door open and it makes some noise.
That makes sense. It acknowledges the struggle that often comes with real change. So looking back at Canto 9, what are the big takeaways for us trying to navigate our own journeys?
I think there are quite a few. First, the idea that progress isn't always up to us alone, that element of grace or things beyond our control lifting us up, like
Yeah.
the eagle.
The need for receptivity.
Right. Then the 3 steps showing us a path for dealing with our faults: honest confession, genuine remorse, and active amends.
The importance of the whole process, not just one part.
Definitely. Then there's the symbolism of the P's, that purification is gradual, requiring patience.
One step at a time.
And the 2 keys reminding us that good guidance or good self-governance needs both authority and wisdom, power and discernment.
That balance again.
And maybe even that hint that significant change, like the gate opening, can sometimes feel difficult or jarring, but it's necessary for entry into a new state. Plus, the whole transport while asleep thing.
Yeah.
Growth can happen even when we're passive, seemingly.
Wow. It really is amazing how much practical wisdom you can pull from these verses, even centuries later. It's not just a story, is it?
Not at all. It's a map of the soul's journey. And parts of that map still feel incredibly relevant to our own internal landscapes.
So maybe a thought to leave everyone with. Think about those times in your own life that felt a bit like Dante's unconscious transports. Those moments where you felt shifted or something changed significantly, maybe without you consciously driving it the whole way. What happened? And what might that tell you about your own path, your own journey?
A great question to ponder.
Indeed. Well, thank you for joining us for this, our 43rd deep dive. We really appreciate you exploring this with us.
Always a pleasure.
We look forward to seeing you next time for another exploration.